Hello, boss guys, my name is Hotsty and welcome back to Factorio here on Gleba. Here last time we built up this contraption and today we have to see if it actually works, fixing any issues. Then we also need to set up this production for agricultural science. Not sure if this will be sufficient. We also need to build up a pipeline not only for rocket fuel but also for the processing units and the low density structures, so we can then place our rocket silo here, and probably once we kick off the farms, the building, we might run into some competition with the native inhabitants. But all that we have to figure out in due time. So let me grab first a bit here. So I can put back a few of the belts. We should have finished good portion of the build setup so far. So let's see then. Let's fill these up. Let's fill these up. And we will need to craft a bit of those. And we need to supply power. Let's do that. And then also supply power up here. And we will have just there. For the wood. Don't need wood in here. And we need the same thing down here. How are we looking pollution wise? Not so bad. We do have some more seeds in here somewhere. At least I thought we had. We also want to make a bit more space, because these are just growing, and we want to have more space where we can grow them. For that we need landfill, nutrients and the seeds. Of course there are a few things that needed adjustment. For example, here we squeeze off a bit of nutrients from down here. Yeah, that's the right one. To supply the the gel factory up here, but then we do basically the same here on this side to get around to here, because otherwise only this setup would supply the first step of our factory, which is just not good enough. And we also had to rewire this a bit so we can really also resupply with nutrients. And what I missed here for our copper production is we needed the Yumako mesh, and we get that now from over here, so that also required a bit of rewiring. With all that set up, we should at least be in a position where slowly we get to where we want it to be. And as we can see, we do have a bit of iron already smelted. Not sure how that got in there. Maybe something on belt. Oh. Those go the wrong way. And probably we should then have here something else for this one. I will for now just add that in some more chests. And now I think it's kind of the time where you wait. Ooh, why do I have... Not sure, because here only the seeds should go through. We'll sort this out by doing that. Let everything run through. And then we will also check the upper part, the other farm, where we might have similar problem. Yeah. And here we do not really have that much space to plant, so I think we will wait a bit until we have a bit of a backlog here. Because if we want to craft, we need 2 seeds per tile, and I think we need 8 tiles for 1 square where we can plant something. So eventually all this will sort itself out. And then we can really make faster progress than we have so far. When the setup is working, it works, but there is always those times where there are hiccups because of some supply issues, and then I'm never sure, is it because something does not work, or do we have issues? And the main issue that we're facing is that basically all the time things spoil, and even in the time for nutrients for moving from here to here, they may spoil going up there and making the round. So while I think this does work, I don't think this is a setup that I can scale up to the amount where we can then basically push rockets out with this setup, and we need to push or be able to push rockets out because once we produce the agricultural sons, we want to ship them immediately and not have them waiting around in a chest until the rocket is fully built. So that's why I think I will transition to at least partially bot-based setup. I think this first part here works well, but then as soon as it comes to sorting out the different items that are on the belts, that's where it gets complicated, and I think we can do that by having filter inserters, and we might either put them into chests, logistic chests, or put them on another belt. And of course we can always have spoilage, so even if we have a setup like this, we probably want to have something. There it goes in, there it goes out, and then we have basically a filter for spoilage here, this way around, because we don't want to have spoiled things in here, and we will have basically spoiled things in here, and we will also have stations for recycling. So with this setup we probably can be a bit more compact than we're down here with all the belt weaving and things moving around. So I think we shall put a bit of landfill in this area. We will see how I can manage to work this part out, and then we will also need to figure out if we stick with this part, how to supply that with nutrients. Now this is quite a bit of a different setup, and it seems to be working. Occasionally we still have the bottleneck of nutrition, but I think I have this thing going because at this stage it's mainly due to 150 logistic robots are just not enough, and I have here a ship that should arrive with a few more. And as you can see, we also need a bit more in the area of power supply, because with this setup we have these roboports which are quite power hungry, and so I had to extend the setup to produce power. And we also have this one going here, a few heating towers that burn excess spoilage and produce heat and power out of it. That supplements what we have here with solar power and then accumulators quite nicely. here our smelting arrays, they are working, but I think we still need more stuff before we can really think about the agriculture science packs. We have here a whole row of egg breeders, but currently no eggs, and that's probably for the better, because we also need then to use those eggs in our factory. And currently the bio chamber is the only thing that uses them, so we are not there yet, and I'm just waiting to the point where we really see the nutrition that we are producing is sufficient, so we can scale things up. And the next thing is probably more circuit production, so we can have red and blue ones that we will need for the rocket. And then we also need to have the low density structures, and there we probably, or it's probably best to figure out how much science packs we produce, how fast we can ship them to Nauvis to use in the research, and how fast we need to build rockets here on Gleba in order to determine how big our factory needs to be here. But let's see if we can push this to the point where it's running smoothly, where we then also see we have constant smelting going on, and smelting is not yet backlogged here due to that. Because currently we do have a bit of ores going, but I think we are not yet producing enough for what we need. Now this is working fine, and we have upgraded the defense here a bit, where we have eggs with some Tesla turrets which do the job nicely. We take a bit of damage, but we can repair. And what I also did, I set up a belt that goes over to our heating towers, request the spoilage here, because spoilage you can put on a belt and it does not need to be the fastest belt, because it does not degrade anymore. But having the robots flying from here over to there, that was a bit of a drain. And with this setup, same number of logistic robots, we have quite some spare. However, what I figured out is that in order to produce the bioflux, we need way more Yumako mesh, and this is because if we look here, we need 10 versus 8, but then out of 2 jelly nuts we get those 8, and for the Yumako we need 5, so that's a bit more, and each plant gives us the same amount, 50, but we probably want to have at least a second field here, and then maybe also a bit better processing way here, because what we have here, the setup for our nutrient production, bioflux to nutrient, that works nicely. But if we look here, we usually see that we are lacking the Yamuku mesh and not the gel here, where we usually have a tiny bit of backlog, and we could even do it this way. Just double up that part, and that way we prioritize the output of the first one, but everything else is then picked up and here ready only for logistics, and that's how we can empty the belt faster, consume things faster. And that's also what I did down here, and you can see this chest is basically empty. So that's what we will focus on next time, before we try to figure out how we can ship things off this marshy planet. Until then, goodbye!